on the agenda is public comment. Hearing none, approval of the June 17th meeting minutes.
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or any changes? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay, motion passes. Association liaison report. Is Nate coming?
No.
Okay. Chairman report. Update regarding storage and training facility. Sean, do you want to tell us? Did we have our kickoff meeting on June 27th?
So we had our kickoff meeting. We were waiting still on submittals for the steel for the structure, and we've been in contact every single week with them. We were promised last week that we would have it sometime last week. Hasn't happened yet, and submitted, put another email in today asking for the submittal so we can get going. Once we have the submittal, it'll go to our engineer, have them sign off on it, and then the 4 weeks for fabrication. That's what they're telling us right now. So even if we get it now, we're probably looking at the end of September, beginning of October to get the steel erected, and the building will go up shortly after that. But the steel is the biggest holdup right now.
Do you have any questions about that? Update regarding dispatch subcommittee. My understanding is we're going to reconvene either right before Labor Day or right after. So I should have an update for you at our September 16th meeting on that. We're just trying to finish implementing the consultant's 14 recommendations about how to improve dispatch, and we're about halfway through. The third item on the agenda is discussion and proposed resolution regarding personnel performance, which we will hold for executive session. Review of current financials.
So current financials, we're in good shape. We just started the year off. We're still wrapping up last year. Waiting on some bills to come in. We should have last year wrapped up hopefully in the next week. This year, so far nothing major has popped out at us. The only thing that I want to bring your attention to, and I don't know how it's going to affect this, is as you all know, if you've got a UI bill, you have that surcharge on the bottom of the bill, and it's called the public benefit charge. And ours here is $770 additional on top of our bill. So our bill should be like $3,300, and right now it's like $4,000. So I don't know how that's going to affect us budget-wise, but we're not going to be in the same boat. Every town department would be in that spot. So I gotta have the call with Tony and find out what the plan is moving forward.
You said every town department's going to be in that boat?
Well, any town department that's paying their own electric bill,
Yeah.
and all the electric bills in town, they're gonna exceed, so it's based on, I think, a kilowatt hour, so.
Based on usage, yeah.
Yeah, so it could be like last month, ours was $770, so.
There's no exemption for
Yes, I mean,
municipalities?
Can you call the UI?
I don't have that's why I gotta have a talk with Tony to find out what's going on here, because everybody across the board is in the same spot. On top of that, I don't know I think we're locked in the UI, but I know the DPUC just came through and there's gonna be another price hike, but I think we're locked in for 1 more year in the town, so I don't know if that hike is gonna affect us or we're good, but the
But
actual
that's a separate
public
charge
benefit
that you're
charge,
referring
yes,
to.
absolutely. But if that other hike kicks in, it'd be even more than that.
It'd be worse.
Yeah. So it's just something we've got to keep an eye on. Maybe we'll talk about it next meeting. More information on what we're doing here.
Okay, anything else on the financial report that you want to
No,
highlight?
not at this point.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on the financial report? Okay, hearing none. Fire chief's report.
So we have a the Living Treasure Award that comes out every year. Tom Kennefick got it this year, along with Beth Heller, that we know about, and there was somebody else on it.
Susan Davidson.
Okay, but Tommy from the department made Living Treasure this year, and so did Beth.
Excellent.
And we're just working on the storage training facility, like we talked about, because they are going out to bid on the old firehouse for that cultural center, and we're trying to get this moving a little bit quicker, just so we don't run into a problem in another few months. The other thing is we're going to be hosting Truck or Treat again this year. We have a bunch of stuff that's going to go out to the businesses for donations, for truck sponsors, like we've been doing since 2012. One issue is that we're gonna resolve tomorrow night probably is, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do Truck or Treat in the backyard since we're hopefully gonna be building the structure. So we're gonna see if the trucks fit over here. We might do it on Center Road, or we may have to do it in front of Town Hall again. Depends on what goes on, so that's a work in progress, and we gotta resolve that this week so we can get the flyer up and out, and send all the letters out.
Great. What's the date of that? Is that on Halloween?
October 31st. I
Okay,
think it's a
okay.
Thursday this year. And I'm sure the assistant chief's gonna talk about it. A couple weeks ago, we had almost like a microburst come through town where we had roughly 30 calls. We had a bunch of down tree limbs, down wires. We had a fire on Raymond Road with power lines in the grass. We had trouble getting a hold of UI to get UI out there. It took us roughly 3 hours to get somebody out there to kill power. So we are working with our liaison. I think the storm just caught everybody off guard. Just like yesterday's storm, we were right on the fringe of that, where Oxford received over 16 inches of rain. I mean, that's right down the road. If that happened here, it would be catastrophic flooding again. So the storms are getting bigger, they're smaller, they're coming
more frequently.
and they're bigger and they're stronger than just a windstorm here or there. So we're supposed to get some more weather tonight, or we've been monitoring it. But I think it's important, like when we just did it, we ran through a bunch of stuff, like we lost a bunch of barricades again by people driving through them, they break, whatever else, so flares, fire tape, all this stuff adds up, just so we know when we look at and go to the budget season where this stuff goes and how we use it. So we had to reorder a bunch of stuff after the last storm. Trucks are okay. Trucks are going to be going out for annual maintenance again. So far we're in good shape. This year might be a heavy year for maintenance. We're going to pull the tires off some of the trucks, check the brakes. So I would anticipate this year being a slight heavy year for repair maintenance machine. Hopefully we have enough, but if not, we'll just keep monitoring it. If everything goes good and we have no major issues, we should be okay. If we have some major issues, we're definitely falling behind. And that's all I got right now.
Great. Do we have any questions?
Were tires an issue? Do I remember from a couple of meetings ago?
So tires, it came up at the annual town meeting and the preliminary budget meeting. So they want to know how many, there was an individual in town, a resident, that wanted to know how many tires we buy for the amount of money we have. And it's kind of hard to tell you how many tires we buy. We can break it down by the end of the year and how many tires we buy for that. But a truck tire is anywhere from $450 to $650 for like a steer tire. And then if we have to change tires, like on one of the Suburbans or Joe's car, we're probably looking in the area of about $400, $450 a tire. So they all vary, so I can't tell you an exact number that we buy, but we have to replace the tires, and it's important to note this, it's important, we have to replace the tires every 7 years
That's
per
what I
the
was-
date, per the date code on the tire.
Yeah.
So it's really important when we buy a tire, we look at the date code.
And that
Because
is
if
not
the
be a
date
year old.
code is a year old, we only hold the tire for 6 years, not 7. So Jimmy's usually on top of that, looking at the date codes to make sure we get the newest tire we can. Realistically, we'd love to get a brand new tire, but realistically, the tire's already 3 months or 6 months old. So, and it depends on when they come off, we have to replace them. So, we replaced tanker 8, I think back in May, and it was almost $7,500 just to replace tires on that one truck. So when we look at I think it's a $14,000 tire budget, it doesn't go that far. We get one truck and then maybe a couple tires here and there.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Okay, activity report, Assistant Chief.
So, for the June report, catching up from the last meeting we missed, we had a total of 56 calls in June. Breaking down, we had 8 fires, we had 1 rescue emergency medical assist, 20 hazardous condition, no fire, 1 service call, 6 good intent, 19 false calls, and then 1 severe weather assessment. And also in that month, we did 3 car seats. Last month in July, we had total of 40 calls. We had 3 rescue emergency medical assists, 14 hazardous condition, no fire, 3 good intent, 20 false calls, and that makes up the total of 40. In that, one of those medical assists was we had to take the UTV out into the trail. We had a lady that fell and injured her knee, and she was having a hard time getting out. So we took the UTV in, picked her up, and brought her back out to the ambulance.
Nice.
So that was one of those ones we don't see a lot, but people wonder, why do we have them, why do we need them? That kind of explains why, you know what I mean, we just don't know. So we were able to go out, pick her up, and bring her back in a lot faster. Also, it was on a daytime call, so, you know, staffing would have been short. If we would have had to carry a Stokes basket out there, pick her up, it would have been a lot more labor intensive. So it worked out really well that we were able to just put her in the passenger seat, her and her dog, and I drove her right out.
Guys, just bear with us on this. We're still working with First Due on this, but we have to look into this because I don't believe the whole report printed out correctly here. We have to take a look at it and we'll get back to you next month on it.
Okay. All right, yeah, if there's any corrections
Yep.
from July,
Yep.
you tell us.
Sure.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Nope, I mean, we've had a lot of calls this month, that storm, like Sean said, we had 30 calls on the one Saturday.
Yeah.
So, and that was like right after the first of the month, so you'll see those in next month's report.
All right, hopefully no more days like that
Hmm.
in August. All right, thank you very much. Fire Marshal's report.
115 inspections and no fire investigations.
Okay.
He's also going around for the schools.
Oh, I did Amity today, we're in good shape there.
Yeah.
Inspecting, you mean?
Yeah, I got Ezra tomorrow and Beecher Wednesday.
Okay, we got a piece of correspondence. Tina, do you want to read it in?
This was from June 9th, we're gonna have a July meeting from Dawn Calistro on Fountain Street, and Joe or Ted can talk about what happened there. Dear employee, members of the Woodbridge Fire Department, just wanted to say thank you so very much for responding to smoke and possible fire in the basement of our residence at 838 Fountain Street on Saturday afternoon, June 8th, at about 13:48, when engine number 3 parked on our driveway. Great work. It was nice to see Fire Chief Sean Rowland and Fire Marshal Joe Capucci, although perhaps not under the circumstances, and to see some of the other employees of the Woodbridge Fire Department. Thank you for all your service, and may God keep and bless all of you. And she includes a $100 contribution.
Nice. Okay, anybody have any old business or any new business they want to talk about, bring up? No? Okay, our next meeting date is September 16th. I will,
do have a conflict for that, so I have a school event, so unfortunately I
Okay.
can't make it.
alrighty, thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session, inviting in Chief Rowland to discuss personnel performance.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and we have a
I'll
second?
second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.